So what inspired my dream to be like a leading actor it started with my hometown in Muskogee, Oklahoma. Muskogee is a Indian territory town, so it's not like, it's not a big theater arts program or, screen acting program. So, I used to just watch movies and I used to get inspired by, actors like Lorenz Tate, Lee Thompson Young, famous Jet Jackson, if y'all know about that. Like those were really, I love the Denzels and the Samuel Jacksons, but like those were really the ones when I was young that when I watched them on screen made me believe somebody like me could do it. So, I was getting close to graduation, high school, and I said, I'll go to UCO, and they didn't have like a screen acting program or nothing. So I was like, what's the closest thing is broadcasting. So if I can never get in somebody else's film, at least I know how to make films and just make my own films and, be a leading actor in my own film. So that was the reason why I even went to college. Pursuing this acting dream, it's not easy. It was hard with a lot of obstacles and challenges I had faced. Like, I was acting, but then I was still in school studying like, nonlinear editing and all that stuff. While I was learning the craft of making films, I was also learning the craft of acting in films at the same time. So while I was at school, on the summertime, I go visit my uncle who lived in New York City, and he worked at a school of visual arts. He got me in there in New York City, and that's where I studied my craft of acting. And then I took, I learned the method acting there, and I took that, brought it to Oklahoma City. Once I got the degree at UCO, and it was like 2010. Then I'm just like, well, work is still hard. I don't have that much money. I got married, had kids, and I was also a photographer during this time. So I was doing like headshots, and I used to take my own actor headshots to this place called Moto Photo. Well, crazy thing is the owner got used to seeing me there, and he was an older Asian Korean man, like 70 plus, and one day I was going in there and I was literally getting my actor headshots for an audition, and he offered to sell me the store, and I couldn't believe it. And I was like, hey, I'd love to take your store, but I ain't have no money. And he's like, man, he was like, I see you in here. And he see me with my photography business shirt on. And he's like, look, if you just take it over, you can just pay me with the money the store is already making until the payments is paid in full. So I was like, cool. So that was really a huge blessing for me. So as I'm owning Moto Photo and it allowed me to make ends meet for me and my family. And also now I got a studio that I can actually go that makes money, and I'm going to the back of my own studio, shoot my auditions, knocking them out, getting them out the way. So that really was very helpful. But then, COVID happened, the writer strike happened, the actor strike happened. Literally everything that could go wrong, everything that I did from writing to acting, COVID, I'm running a photo shop. People going to the grocery stores, they trying to get sanitizer. They ain't worried about, spending money on photos because everybody broke. So I'm really broke because it literally hit every industry that I done studied, right? And invested in. So that was a tough time. When COVID hit, I was like, all right, well, I got to make a pivot. I got to make a move. I can't just not be doing nothing. So, and that I felt like if I make a comic book, Oklahoma superhero, it legitimizes what I'm doing. It makes it legit. Like there's a documentation of this, So we made the comic book. I was going back and forth with the illustrator, emails and all that, and converting my screenplay into a comic book format. It was hard, but it was dope too. It was fun. What I decided that needed to be done to make my goals successful is I gotta produce my own stuff. Point blank period. I have to do it myself. So as I started making my own stuff, I realized something which was crazy is the same people that I cast, as actors and DPs and stuff like that, once they got to see me work and we wrapped on production, immediately after that, it started leading to more roles of me being the lead. And so then right after that, I'm lead in this movie called John John and Dickie's Backstage Pass. You know, I play like a videographer filming the 80s, pop punk band. And the same DP and AD that I used for my project, The Seer, they had their other projects that they was working on. And they had a project called The Offer. And they hit me up and they said, hey, man, I want you to be the lead in our movie. So really what I really say for everybody would help me get my goal, and what I know is going to help other people get their goal, is produce your own stuff, hire people that's just as good as you or even better.